our info meeting today is here to just give you information about our upcoming auditions for our fall production of Shakespeare stories. My name is Josh, and I'm the Artistic and Education Director at ACT, and I'm also one of the co-directors of Shakespeare stories. And I'm going to have my other co-director introduce herself as well.
Hello, I am Emily Richmond. I'm the board president of the Rude Mechanicals, and I also am part of their company. And I do work with ACT, so hence my plugging of Jungle Book a few minutes ago. But I'm going to be co-directing with Josh, and it's not just the show itself that the Rude Mechanicals are helping with, or in like the directing of it. I would like to have actually one of our staff members talk just briefly, very quickly, about what she is going to be doing in this collaboration for Shakespeare stories.
Oh, doing it now? Cool. Hi, I'm Katie Clark. I'm going to be teaching a little Shakespeare 101, which is going to be the first part of our production process. So it's going to be a little bit of the history, a little bit of interpreting the language in a way that's the most powerful way we can do it for this piece, for this project. So that's the thing.
Yeah, and we are very excited to have Katie and Emily and everybody at the Rude Mechanicals helping us out with this production. It'll be a wonderful co-production between the two organizations, and we're really excited to make it happen this fall because the world is in the middle of a pandemic, and so we're trying to make theater happen in some way, shape, or form. And so while we normally would start with a large cast musical, we're starting with as large of a cast Shakespeare show as we can possibly do, because we know we can do that successfully, and it's also going to be a really wonderful experience for our kids to get to work with not only William Shakespeare and what pandemic. Sorry, Maggie, there might be some news that you need to just catch up on a little bit. Yes. But we're really excited to get our kids to work with William Shakespeare, but also with the local artists who are working in and around not only the Rude Mechanicals, but ACT, and our community members who are interested in auditioning for this piece in this process as well. So we're really excited to go through that. So the next little bit's going to be some just logistics of how things are going to work and when things are going to be. And so I'll have Lisa Howell, our wonderful production manager, who's working on the buttons. She's going to share her screen, and we are going to have a little document come up here for everybody to see. We're just going to talk a little bit about what the production is, what it's going to be, how audition processes are going to work, things along those lines. And then as soon as I'm done with that, we can open it up for questions. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So this is our document. When you come to ACT for an info meeting, you might normally see this document hanging on the wall or on our counter. So we want to try to recreate it for this purpose as well. So Shakespeare Stories is going to be the name of our show, and we're going to have auditions on this Saturday, the 25th, and the next Tuesday, 1 week from today, on the 28th. And we've got two kind of time slots for everybody to be able to do that out. We've got a 3 to 5 time slot on Saturday afternoon, and we've got a 6 to 8 time slot next Tuesday evening. This is hopefully going to give some flexibility for actors to be able to audition at times that works well for them and their families as well. How the audition will work is as follows. We're going to also hold the audition on Zoom, and we have that link available for you to go to. It is on our website, it is on our Facebook page. You can find that information as well, or if you want to email us, info@ACT staff, we can send that link right to you as well. But what'll happen is you'll get to that audition room, and in that audition room, you will find Lisa, and then Lisa will let you in to the breakout room, the little side room that Emily and I will be in, and you'll kind of perform your prepared piece, which we'll talk about. You'll perform that prepared piece, and then we may do a little bit of feedback or things with you just to kind of help get you, maybe taking some direction, seeing what choices you can make, kind of things along those lines. And then that'll be that. The piece that we're having everybody The piece that we're having everybody prepare is based on the following prompt. We're wanting people to pick a piece that represents them as a person, them as an artist. Pick something that represents you. And that's a little bit of a strange request in the sense of it's not like a dramatic one, a classic one, a comedic one. It's a big broader topic than that. And one of the themes that as we're doing is we're piecing our script together here, our Shakespeare Stories script. What we're focusing on is telling Shakespeare's stories through Shakespeare's themes, but also through us as artists. And we thought in today's day and age, we really wanted to look at the cast and the crew of who's working on this project and who's represented in our community, and really help elevate the voices of those actors and those artists who are represented or even underrepresented in our communities. And so to do so, one of the really wonderful things we wanted to do was we wanted to see what each and every artist wanted to bring to auditions, because on top of the script elements we talked about, Emily and I are also going to be looking at some kind of non-traditional casting ways of looking at things. We want to consider every person for every part, and we want to see what the essence of the actor would bring to the essence of the part. And that's kind of all like heady kind of art things, but that's kind of where we are in terms of what we want to do in reimagining Shakespeare and with our casting of the piece. So we're going to ask you to not only bring a piece that represents you, which is a 30 to 45 second monologue or story, and so that'll be how long it is. Also on the question, on the audition form, we have a question that also gets you to talk a little bit about what creating art means to you. And we'll look at that as well to kind of see and look and kind of look at those questions as well. So that's a little bit about the audition process itself. So again, that'll happen on Zoom in that breakout room. You'll present the piece for us. We may give you some feedback, and then we'll go from there. The going from there is that ACT will post the cast list on our website no later than noon. It'll be noon on our website. I'm not going to do the whole monologue right now because there's no other option. You can't really call ACT right now because nobody's really there. But you can look at our website at noon on the 31st of July, and that is where the cast list will be. If your name appears on that cast list, then the rehearsal process will start with our mandatory parent and student meeting, which we do have an update since this document was created, which will be on August 3rd is when our parent meeting will be, and we'll go over all of the details, the very specific details of what it means to be in the show and how we're going to record it and how we're going to present it and kind of all those deals there on the 3rd. And then the 4th, we will start right into rehearsal. And rehearsals are going to go typically Monday through Thursday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. If a person is cast in the show, and only if a person is cast in the show, there's no fees or anything to audition. But if you're cast in the show, we do have a $45 participation fee. And that's just because in terms of creating a show and creating a production, if there's time and money and effort, and it takes a little bit to do so. So we have that participation fee for any students or actors that are cast in our play. We will never let finances or money be able to be the reason you're not involved in ACT. So if that is an issue or a hindrance, please email us, contact us. All of our first names, so Josh, Ann, or Lisa at actstaff.org. We have scholarships, we have things that are available. We really want everybody to be as involved as possible. For this for this show in particular, we are waiving the second part of our fee, which is our $85 ad fee, as we are not quite having people go out to businesses and things along those lines and sell ads. We normally would have you guys do that, but we're going to waive that fee for this because, well, going out to businesses right now, not super safe. In terms of giving a program, we're going to give a little stripped down program. So having ads and ad space right there is not something we're going to have you guys sell for. So there's just the one fee of the $45 fee. Rehearsals will be from 6 to 8, as I talked about, and then we also want to make sure that you know all your conflicts on that form as well. So our rehearsal days are pretty much going to be Monday through Thursday from August 3rd through probably till about the end of September when we're kind of finished recording. Not every actor or every crew member will be needed every single one of those days. We will give you a schedule and you'll know when you'll need to be here and when you'll not need to be here. With all that being said, that we'll give you that calendar. You'll have that broken down. we're going to design the script in ways that's going to make recording easier because they're going to be in smaller groups to record. So inherently, it'll be in smaller groups to rehearse as well. So you definitely won't be needed all of those nights, all those times. We definitely are respectful of people's time and energy, especially knowing that there's school starting soon, and there is lots and lots of different things that are going on in terms of everything we're adjusting to. So we will give you that calendar. We just need to know as many of your conflicts ahead of time as you can possibly know. I think that's at least all the initial details and things along those lines that I wanted to kind of share with you there. Lisa, we can stop this screen share at this point. And Emily, if there's anything that I have missed or anything else that you would like to add on, let me know.
I do have one thing I would like to add, and it's just from the perspective of the Rude Mechanicals. And that is that often, very, very often, we get lots of people that have what our artistic director, Alicia Elliott, refers to as Shakespeare, right? Which is that in the United States, we don't do an awesome job at introducing students to Shakespeare, quite frankly. And what I mean by that is just that we sort of treat it like a book when it really needs to be treated like a play, right? Or even poetry. And so we get a lot of Shakespeare, right? And so I just want to encourage all of you, and if you know people who have maybe talked to you about this show and they're like, I don't know, I can't do Shakespeare, I never really got it, it's really frightening and intimidating. Please know, number one, that I wasn't even that into Shakespeare. In fact, full disclosure, I didn't really like it that much until I started working with the Rude Mechanicals. And I started working with them because they were a bunch of people I really loved, and I loved making theater. And I liked Shakespeare okay, I guess, but I didn't have a great grasp on it. And yes, I'm now the board president, so what does that tell you? But when you have a group of people who are committed to really doing like table work and really understanding so that the performances are incredible and the meaning comes through, which we have, which is a large portion of what Katie and Alicia are going to be doing with the actors, to really make sure the actors don't have that Shakespeare and that they know exactly who their character is and what they're saying. We want to get you to that place. So please don't be intimidated by that aspect of it. It's really important, I think, that, you know, if you want to spread that word, if there's people that you know that have talked to you about it and they're worried, please know, like, we are not just going to throw Shakespeare at people, at actors, and be like, here, figure it out, right? Like, in fact, I think one of the greatest things about the table work that we can do in Shakespeare is every time I read something that I've maybe read a bunch or seen performed or even performed myself, I learn new things. And so it's really going to be not only we're going to prepare you, but also I think that stuff could be a really wonderful experience in addition to the production experience. So I just would add that to it. I am a convert, so now I talk about Shakespeare all the time and I quote him constantly. And but I always want to make sure to tell people that hasn't always been the case. It's not like I have been this way since high school. Like, I sort of came around to it slowly, but I recognize the beauty of it. So I'm excited for this, but just know we're committed to making sure all of our actors and our audience too, right? Part of what we're writing into the script is, you know, some kind of narration to help people follow through and know what's happening on stage and really be able to connect. So don't be afraid. Don't have Shakespeare. We'll get you there.
Yes, wonderful. Agree 1,000,000%. The only other thing that I wanted to add on that I forgot to mention earlier was that we do have parts for actors of all ages. So as within the ACT production, we go grades 4th grade and up. So that includes adults as well as any other kid in that age range there. So we are excited to offer parts to our community members as well as the students of our community as well. So yeah. At this point, we will open it up to questions if you happen to have them. Otherwise, we can wrap things on up as well. So yeah, have any questions? Greg.
Can you tell us about the script?
can we
Yes,
tell
but
you
we'd have to
about this
charge you.
one?
No, I'm just kidding.
I'm actually gonna let Emily field that one.
Okay.
'Cause, yeah,
How
there you
much?
Thank you. Thank you. So very loosely, because it is like a work, it's a living sort of thing that's happening, right? We're creating it and we're working with a couple of other awesome people from ACT and from the Rude Mechanicals, Cleo Howell and Corey Jenkins Jr. We're really excited to be writing it all together, and some of the ideas they had are great. But in essence, it's going to be somewhat of a, as Josh mentioned, we're going to talk about themes that Shakespeare uses in his work that we all also relate to now, right? Like themes, the themes of living, right? Of being human. I'm not going to spoil all of them, but at least one of the themes is love, and at least one of the other themes is magic or fantasy, depending on how you kind of look at that. But we've got some themes, and we're going to talk about sort of the lifespan. If folks are familiar with All the World's a Stage, right? Going through the stages, the scenes, you know, the acts of life. We're going to kind of follow that nice sort of outline that he has given us, and kind of look at the themes of life throughout the stages of life, and have scenes and some monologues that are going to kind of, you know, meet those themes. And my hope is to have it be some really easily identified pieces, right? Like a lot of people are familiar with All the World's a Stage as a sentence, but maybe those folks don't know the rest of that monologue, and so they'll get to be introduced to it. And then also maybe some scenes that people aren't as familiar with, but they may be familiar with the characters. And so I'm excited to do kind of a bit of a mix. And my hope, which is like always my hope, is that people who watch the show will be like, what's that from? Okay, now I want to go look that up and figure out what that's from, and get some of their excitement going, because they've had some familiar stuff that they're like, wait, I've seen that on a magnet, and then like stuff that they're not as familiar with that they connect to. So I don't know if that answers your question, Greg, but we're essentially going to
Yes, thank you. It's exciting.
Universal themes, right? That we're not, Shakespeare didn't invent them, right? Because they are sort of human, and we're going to take his language and show it through that language.
And the only thing that I would add on to that is we're going to do that through a collection of scenes and monologues, and a little bit of connectivity tissue of some really fun narration. So, yeah. Any other thoughts or questions that people have for this meeting of this moment? It's totally okay if not. I do this with my students. I give them a count of 5, and it's not to like pressure. It's just to say you have a count of 5. It's okay, but then we're gonna be done. Well, fantastic.
Wait, hold on just a second, Josh. Does anybody have, just I'll prompt you a little bit,
This is why
because I think
I
there
do
might
it.
be.
This is why I do it, is because as soon as you're there, it pops in your brain. You need that moment to think. Sorry, go ahead.
I just wanted to open up and prompt a little bit. Does anyone have questions about the online format, the recording of a live show, and kind of how we do that? I feel like everyone lives on Zoom right now, so maybe people don't have questions about that, but it was definitely a learning curve. We were, at least for me, when we were preparing Jungle Book. So I just wanted to open that up if people had questions about what that'll be like. But no? All right. Cool.
All right. Well, thank you all very, very much for coming out and being here. And yeah, absolutely. We look forward to a wonderful production. If you have not yet signed up for auditions, you can do so on our website. It's there. You just click the little audition star, and it'll take you right down to where you need to go for auditions. And we hope to see everybody there, and we hope to see everybody at the show. Yeah, thank you all very much.
Sorry.
Good night. Yeah,
I'm
what's up?
sorry. Hey, can I say one quick thing? If you have any questions about the Rude Mechanicals, or what the structure of the workshop is going to take, go ahead and send me an email at Katie, Katie, at rmtheater.org.
Excellent. Thank you, Katie.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Katie.
Cool. All right.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. I think the only backgrounds I even have are from the Jungle Book. So I could be in the jungle or I could be in a boarding school. That's literally all I have right now.
Go for the jungle. Go for the jungle.
That's okay. I think mine are from Hogwarts Week at Harry. So, like, I could be in the Great Hall. That's where I could be right now if I wanted to be.
I'm in the jungle. There it is.
Thank you.
What seamless cross promotion for our production of the Jungle Book that's currently running till the 26th, Emily. What a genius you are.
Thank you so much. Thank you.